In a bustling town nestled between towering mountains and lush valleys, there lived a notorious thief named Raghav. Known for his cunning and unmatched stealth, Raghav had spent years pilfering from the wealthiest in the town, always managing to evade capture. He took pride in his skill, considering himself the greatest thief the town had ever seen. Despite his reputation, Raghav was a lonely man. He had no family, no friends, and no place to call home. His only companion was his greed, which drove him to continue his life of crime. The townsfolk both feared and despised him, yet no one could catch him in the act. One evening, as Raghav scouted the town for his next target, he overheard a group of villagers talking about an old man who lived in the woods on the outskirts of town. The villagers spoke of the old man with a mix of awe and reverence. According to them, the old man was a sage who possessed a treasure more valuable than gold or jewels, a magical elixir that granted eternal youth. Raghav's eyes gleamed with excitement. Eternal youth, he thought to himself. With that, I could continue my life of thievery forever. No one would ever catch me. Determined to steal the elixir, Raghav set off toward the woods that very night. The path was dark and treacherous, but Raghav's desire for the elixir kept him moving forward. After hours of walking, he finally reached a small, humble cottage nestled among the trees. The cottage was simple, with a thatched roof and walls made of wood. A soft light glowed from within. The air was filled with the scent of herbs and flowers. Raghav crept up to the window and peered inside. There, sitting cross-legged on the floor, was an old man with a long white beard and kind, twinkling eyes. The old man was deep in meditation. He was surrounded by shelves filled with jars of herbs, potions, and strange artifacts. Raghav's heart raced as he spotted a small, intricately carved wooden box on a shelf behind the old man. That must be where he keeps the elixir, Raghav thought. Without hesitation, he picked the lock on the door and slipped inside. Moving silently, Raghav reached for the box. But just as his fingers touched the wood, the old man's voice broke the silence. Are you looking for something, my child? Startled, Raghav froze. The old man had not moved from his position, his eyes still closed in meditation. But there was a gentle smile on his lips, as if he had been expecting Raghav all along. I'm sorry, old man, Raghav stammered. I didn't mean to disturb you. I was just curious. The old man opened his eyes and looked at Raghav with a gaze so piercing, it felt as though he could see into Raghav's very soul. Curiosity can be a good thing, the old man said softly. But it can also lead one down dangerous paths. Raghav felt a shiver run down his spine. The old man's voice was calm and soothing, yet there was something about it that made Raghav uneasy. Still, his desire for the elixir outweighed his fear. I've heard you possess a magical elixir, Raghav said, trying to sound confident. One that grants eternal youth. I want it. The old man chuckled, a deep warm sound that filled the room. Ah yes, the elixir of eternal youth. Many have sought it, but few understand its true nature. Raghav frowned. What do you mean? Isn't it a potion that keeps you young forever? The old man stood up slowly, his movements graceful and deliberate. He walked over to a small table and picked up a vial. It was filled with a shimmering golden liquid. This is the elixir you seek, he said, holding it up to the light. But it is not what you think it is. Raghav's eyes were glued to the vial. What is it then? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The old man smiled sadly. This elixir does not grant eternal youth of the body, but of the spirit. It brings peace, contentment, and a deep understanding of life's mysteries. Those who drink it are freed from the desires that bind them to this world.